How you guys doing? Coach Moran here again for Kellenberg Lacrosse. And what we want to go over today for the attack drills is kind of the two-man game. All right, so I'll write that on here so you can see what the plan is. All right. Now there's really two spots, right, that we're going to be looking at the two-man game on the field. And the first spot is at X behind the cage. Right, and the second spot is on the crease. All right, on the crease. Right. So we'll start at X just because it's where we begin. The general principles for the two-man game is that you want to mirror somebody. Right. You never really want to be on the same plane. So when I say plane, it means standing next to each other at the same spot. All right, behind the cage. Because when you're like that, there's really not much of a way for the advantage for the offense, right? You always kind of want to be underneath the ball carrier. So for instance, if the ball is here, as an attackman, if I'm here all the way outside, my defenseman is able to play me here, and his defenseman is able to play him here. There is zero advantage here for us at this moment. Right, because I'm so far out, by the time that pass gets to here, he can come out, he can come in, and the two-man game is kind of done. So what we need to make sure we see is that one guy's always underneath him, lower, right? Because now this defenseman is kind of forced to play me here, which means he is not a coma help. Right, coma means come across, right, like a cross crease slide, because I'm sitting right here, right, and if he gets beat, all I gotta do is step up to here if he goes, and now it's a shot. All right, so that's kind of the first principle to the two-man game. We don't want to ever be on the same plane as the other guy. All right, the second principle for the two-man game is you never want to go over your partner. Right, you never want to go over on top of him. So what do I mean by that? If the ball carrier starts coming this way towards you, you can't stay there. All right, you got to move, right? Because otherwise your defenseman's going to sit right here and it'll be an easy double. All right, so you got to move. So there's really two places you can go. You can go in front of the cage, or you can go back and switch spots with him. Now, when you go to switch, you cannot go over. Right? You can't go over your guy. And the reason why is because here's your D, here he comes, here's his D, now it's an easy double, and where you're hiding in the parking lot on the end line doing nothing. Right? You always have to go what we refer to as underneath. Alright? So as this guy dodges here, this guy has to go under that way. Alright? Has to go underneath of him. Now, there's a few things that you can do as you go under. You can just do a straight up clear through, right, as you go all the way through to the other side. You can do a pick as you come, setting the pick here. Now, when you set the pick, you want the pick to be right on the crease line of the cage. Think about that. Why? Because there is, as we talked about with our apex dodging, a lot of stuff going on right in that area. Right? You've got the lines that you can't go in. You got the lines that the defensive guys can't go in, that they're allowed in, but they have to hop over the back of the cage. So if you're playing them here, right on the line, right, of the crease, that's going to force his defender to have to go around the other defender, possibly getting hung up in the cage. All right? Possibly getting hung up in the cage. Now, after that, you can do a pick and roll, right? So as he comes off the pick, you can just do a quick roll, because maybe he'll roll back and he gets the double, and he can throw it over to you, and then all of our dodges going to the island kind of take in from there. All right. The other option that you can do here, right, is if this guy's got the ball and he's dodging here, you're here. As he comes, and he's a lefty, he's coming left, right? You could either set the pick or you can clear through, right? Making it look like you're going to go to the back side, go all the way around, and just sit here on the back pipe. All right? Because as he comes, right, he comes around, maybe he does the step away, dodge that we were talking about with our island dodging, and then he's able to hit you right on the backside. Okay? So remember our 2 principles for dodging from behind with the 2-man game. Don't stay on the same plane, right? And always go underneath the guy. Okay? If you're too far out also, then you're not helping the team. If your partner behind has the ball, you guys got to be together. Right? You got to be close enough to both be a threat to score. All right. So that's the 2-man game from behind. Next, we're going to look at the 2-man game from the crease. All right. Now, the crease is very difficult to play because we have tendencies, right, as lacrosse players to want to think that the crease is right here because that's what it's called. But in reality, the crease position is this entire area here. It's a 10 by 10 box, so 10 yards by 10 yards box that's inside the offense, right? And then you have the other, the middies, the attack, middies kind of playing on the outside. All right, and there's a few principles that we want to make sure that we understand. If the ball is behind, right? You want to make sure that you are always 10 yards above the cage. All right, so 10 yards. So you would be about right here. All right, right here. All right, and we at Kellenberg like the tandem type of a motion here on the crease. Right, because if you put a guy down here, then this guy can't cut through, right? So we like to have that tandem motion here on the crease. All right, and there's lots of things that you can do here on the crease, but what most teams will have you do is this guy comes over, sets a pick, this guy comes over. And unfortunately, what's the tendency for most crease middies and crease attackmen to do is as this guy comes over and sets the pick, this guy comes all the way down. He cuts down to it. That's wrong. And the reason why is you didn't follow the first principle. The ball's behind, you should be 10 yards above. All right? Because if this guy decides to be this guy and go this way, well, now you're sitting right here, and your defenseman's an easy double. All right? And the guy who just he beat is recovering right to you, and then you shut down the offense, right? You don't want to shut down any lanes. So you need to make sure you stay high on the crease. Also, the spacing on the crease for these two guys is what we refer to as the edges of the crease, right? So if you were to, draw a dotted line now from the edges of the crease, there you are, 10 yards away from each other. You're about 7 or 8 yards apart from each other, right? And you're 10 yards above the crease, right? Or above goal line extended, all right? So that's a 2-man game from the crease from behind, all right? If it's going to be on top, that kind of varies a little bit from team to team. I'm a big fan of having our guys be on the opposite sides, right? Because what's going to allow for that to happen is this guy here has this whole lane to have to slide from. And the D guy who's playing here is going to come all this way in order to make that slide, right? Because this D guy, right, he's going to press out. So we're going to have this guy kind of pump this way, and then this guy can come here, and then this guy can come here. And it's just a nice natural progression. All right? The most important thing you do in a 2-man game is communicate. Talk, 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 talk. You can never talk to your partner enough, right? You gotta be talking. Read what you got. We're not robots, right? So sometimes you just gotta feel what the defense is giving you and take whatever opportunities you have. All right, guys. Make sure you work on that on your own. Maybe get a partner and just kind of work on some 2-man game stuff together.